We're back, guys. Another happy, joyous, fun-filled Fintastic4 podcast. How about them Dolphins, guys?
How about them?
Nothing, nothing.
How about them?
How about that?
Oh God.
How about them Dolphins?
Earlier last week, everybody
Embarrassment.
was joking that a podcast for the Carolina Panthers was quitting after 9 years because the team was so bad. And everybody's joking, how can it can't be that bad. Now I totally understand them.
Yeah.
Totally understand them. Oh man.
I'm gonna tell you this. I think I've texted this to you guys, but I just kind of want to start off with I never thought at this point of my, in just my age range, and I've been a Dolphin fan since for as long as I can remember. David Woodley was the first Miami Dolphin quarterback that I remember, right? And so I don't remember Bob Greasy. And so I don't remember any of the 72 team. I don't remember any of those guys. Me, it's David Woodley and forward.
Mm-hmm.
And I never thought today that I would say that it's starting to look like the better franchise is in Tampa. And even Jacksonville is looking better than us
Mm-hmm.
at this point in the game because they beat the Chiefs in dramatic fashion last night. And so I never thought I would be here going, what's up? What happened? What's up with the Dolphins? And I think a lot of it happened when they were sold by the Robbies. I think we've been lost ever since.
Everyone in Florida is winning except for us.
Yeah,
Everyone.
just about.
Mm-hmm.
Just about.
Does that only include football or
Hockey, baseball,
Baseball's getting better.
Yeah, the
Tampa's
Heat,
the Rays are always a good team.
the
The
Heat.
Marlins are definitely on an
Heat?
upswing.
they're on an upswing. Everybody's on an upswing.
The Heat's rebuilding, but the Heat's won championships in
Yeah.
in the last,
Well, if it wasn't for the Heat, the Panthers, and the Marlins, we'd have nothing.
And
Those
we
are the
just suck
championships.
ass.
Those are and the Canes. Those are the championships that I remember. I don't remember any Miami Dolphin championships.
I mean, hey, at least somebody's winning from the Hard Rock.
Yeah, I mean, you can't even say it's a Hard Rock curse. There are two World Series titles, one in that place.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't even say there's a curse. It's like there's an Indian burial ground. Can't even say that unless they like baseball.
Now the Indian Burial Grounds in Tallahassee in Doak Campbell Stadium.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that was.
How about them Canes? Anyway,
Yeah.
if
We had something to cheer about, it's the Canes right now.
that
They're
game
great.
Sunday, you think about everything we complained about the Dolphins this season. It was just amplified in that game. The offense, they couldn't run the ball. First off, let's qualify this. They were playing the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers, a team that pretty much was given was one of the worst teams in the league this season. The Carolina Panthers, they couldn't run the ball. Tua threw a lot of short passes. He had one long pass that he overthrew. And if it wasn't for Waddle, Waddle was wide open and he still underthrew him. I'm sorry for that touchdown at the end of the game. The defense couldn't stop the run, but that was balanced by the fact they couldn't stop the pass against the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say this again. Carolina Panthers. All right. They kept the best part of the thing I was laughing as the Carolina kept on running to the right, straight at Jalen Ramsey, and he was never
Jalen
very
Phillips?
good against the run anyway. But this was sad.
Phillips?
Well,
Yeah,
you know
I'm
what?
sorry. Yeah, Phillips, Jalen
The-
Phillips. I'm sorry.
Too many
Bryce,
Jalen's. Bryce Young started off bad,
ass.
just bad, right? And that gave us false hope, right? Like we were before we knew it, we had scored on turnovers, right? Imagine that. But then he got his stuff together. That was it. We made him look like they ran all over us for over 200 yards, and Bryce Young had a day, right?
Yeah.
And so I mean, that's what happened. The defense just fell to pieces.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the defense got better or if I think Bryce just stopped making mistakes.
The coaches pulled Bryce Young aside and go, look, they showed him on the tablet. This defense sucks. Okay, throw the ball here, run the ball here, throw the ball there, and you're gonna have no problems.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened.
That's it. That's what happened. They made adjustments, and we never readjusted.
Jeff,
come on,
say
Jeff,
something.
give us something. Give us
give us your words of wisdom
agree.
here.
I think that this loss is squarely on the defense.
Yeah.
I mean, Tua went and threw a touchdown pass to take the lead with less than 5 minutes to go in the game, and all they had to do was stop them. I mean, we couldn't run the ball, but yet we were still in the lead with whatever it was, 3 to 4 minutes to go in the game. And so this loss is squarely on the defense. We, before the season, we were all hyped up on our defensive front seven. We thought that was going to be the strength of our football team. And now it turns out it's the weakness of our football team. That front seven can't stop anybody from doing anything. They can run, they can throw. There's just, I don't know what to our defense, but this loss is squarely on their shoulders.
Right. I mean, when you design a team, you want an offensive line that can generate the run, a defensive line that can stop it. That is fundamental. We don't even have the fundamentals. And it's hard to build off of that. You got to have some serious superstars to overcome those two pieces.
So I look at the stats. The best part for me, the funniest part of the game is when the announcers were saying that the Carolina Panthers have only sacked the quarterback twice all season, and like 3 plays later they sack Tua, and then they sack him again, and then they sack him a third time. Okay, they more than doubled their whole sack output in one game against the Dolphins. 9 penalties against the Dolphins. 9.
Yeah.
9 penalties for 64 yards.
But I thought the defense kept us in it though. Right? Like they had a lot of opportunities. They had to punt the ball. Right? I think our offense kind of let us down too. I mean,
I blame
they
our
went
offense.
flat.
What's that? Our offense had opportunities too, and
they hit a stretch where they just went flat. I don't even think they were there in the third quarter.
Like what happened to the defense? I don't know. I mean, maybe they just got too many tries.
After the first few minutes of the second quarter, the offense disappeared, and they just had that one long touchdown with Waddle, who got open on a breakdown in coverage for them. Other than that, the Dolphins offense did nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
When did Carolina score the rest of their points? Like the fourth quarter?
They scored 14 in the fourth.
They scored 14 in the
fourth. They scored 20
fourth.
straight.
14 in the fourth meant our defense just collapsed. And they just ran out of gas. Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah. They ran out of gas, and that was it.
These stats are just, I'm looking at them now because I was so disgusted with the game.
Right.
Total yards, 248 for the Dolphins. That's terrible. 19 rushing yards. 19. Okay. The offense lost the game.
We still had the lead with 4 minutes to go.
Still with 4 minutes to go.
I knew it was all downhill at that moment.
The defense just had to get that one stop, and we would have won the game.
Yeah, I knew that wasn't happening. They couldn't stop anything at that point.
Or one long drive, and maybe just kick that field goal when you had a chance.
6 punts. The Dolphins punted 6 times.
We got a lot of big names on this team, a lot of big name players, superstar players, but the team is only as good as the worst player. So if the one player breaks down, that one long run there in the fourth quarter that the Panthers had was the linebacker, whoever it was. There was a hole there, and they shot the gap before there was a running back to hit. And then the running back just ran by him and ran however many, 50, 60 yards up the field. They're over pursuing. They're not being patient and waiting for the ball carrier to commit to a hole to go through. They're just trying to do too much.
I want to say about those defensive tackles, they suck together. Jones and Grant are the worst two run-stopping defensive tackles as a team that I've ever seen. Probably in this team's history, ever.
A defensive tackle who only had 2 assists on tackles now. Was it? He didn't have any tackle on his own. I'm deep diving the stats now. This is pathetic.
It's great. We came out in the same formation every single time that they just gouged us with these runs. We had whether it was Sealer, Jones, and Grant, and then you had the 2 guys on the end, either Chubb, Judon, and Phillips on the other side. And they're just running it nonstop on that formation. Why are we still in that? What happened to the 3-4 or the 4-3? Stack the box, do something different. Why do we keep coming out in the same failed formation?
This game I put squarely on McDaniel's shoulders. He was outcoached completely. They kept on running to the right. In the beginning of the third quarter, even the TV announcers who were dolts, they were saying they can run all the time to the right. No, the Dolphins can't stop them. What do they do? They keep on running to the right, and the Dolphins can't stop them. No adjustment, nothing.
Yeah,
adjust. I will say, I feel like they took notes from some of the things we were talking about, how I was saying they need to start setting those screens so we can loop around and get to the quarterback, because we did that a couple times, but we just don't adjust, and we give up 240 rushing yards. We have to have the worst run defense in the league now. It's 175 yards a game on average. Pathetic. That's pathetic.
They scored 20. They scored
175
on 170. The Panthers only had 179 yards passing.
I mean, that's a lot of clock, man.
Yeah,
that's a lot of clock.
That's
hard, man.
And
this is
how did we get
Can we
all
get to
those plays?
Put the Jeff segment, right?
Cut the Jeff segment. How do we get the ball to Darren Waller nonstop in the first half, and then he never sees the ball again?
Yeah,
because the Carolina Panthers adjusted.
That's right.
And why didn't we counter adjust? You know what I mean? I don't get it.
No.
I do not get it.
I haven't seen the injury report. I think he got a little nicked or something, or he got strained or something. They pulled out for a little bit, but
who was that?
Waller.
Well, he was on a snap count.
Yeah, but now you're looking at players. My fear
about Waller is just his durability.
The thing with the NFL is, you're one play away of getting injured and your career being over.
Yeah,
we know that. Now, when your team sucks ass so bad, you're going to start seeing players going, "I'm not going to risk an injury. This is my meal ticket. We're not going to win," even though some guy in some other Dolphin podcast gave a scenario how the Dolphins could still make the playoffs. The guys have some serious drugs.
Not the way they're playing.
Not going to happen.
Jeff, was that you?
No. I got 10 guys that'll beat this team right now.
Well, the only scenario of them making the playoffs is if they win out. I mean, they maybe could lose one more game, but they would have to win every game the rest of the season, which is
all right. Well, here's the question:
it's possible to go on a run.
Here's the question that I never thought I'd ever have to ask this in the show: are the Miami Dolphins the worst team in the NFL right now?
No.
Close.
Who's worse?
The New York Football Jets.
Yeah.
Oh, they've won a game.
They're 0-5.
They beat the Jets.
Oh no, they are 0-5. Correct.
They barely beat the Jets at home.
Who's that?
Apparently.
The Dolphins barely beat the Jets.
We're barely better than them.
Barely.
There were witnesses there. We witnessed it.
They still got to go up to New York.
Which you know what? We're not like, you know what? We're not first on the clock. I mean, if we're going to be this
fourth.
low, we might as well be on the clock.
Yeah.
That win might have cost us the number 1 pick in the NFL.
Is anybody going to
There's
watch
still,
the
still too much season to
Are
make
we
that
going to pick the right guy?
determination
We're not
after
gonna
5 games.
Well, it's going to take some leadership change. It's going to take somebody to come in here and start talking about accountability and
we're all in
fire a
agreement.
couple of guys for being late to a meeting, you know.
We're all in agreement. Greer's got to go. Okay.
Yeah.
We've all heard the excuses why he hasn't been gone. I hope that gets resolved soon, because I mean, even when people on ESPN going, why is Greer still the general manager? I mean, people who don't know anything about the Dolphins are talking about why is he still the general manager?
He's had a good run. It's time to go.
And are they going to realize that Tua was a mistake?
He's had a bad run.
He's had a bad run, and he made a bad pick with
That's
Tua. And this should be it for him. Nobody else
Make it to the end of the season. Are they going to wait to the end of the season to fire him, or are they going to go mid-season? It depends on who's out there.
I mean, how much more embarrassing could it be?
I don't want Rex Ryan as our next coach.
Get ready.
Nobody wants Rex
He
Ryan.
may make a good general manager.
Not even that.
I don't
Rex
want
Ryan.
Rex Ryan.
Rex Ryan will never be an NFL coach again, and neither will John Gruden. I'm hearing people say John Gruden. Gruden will never.
I'd love to have John Gruden in here,
but he'll never coach again in the NFL. He's going to win that lawsuit against the NFL, or they're going to pay him a heck of a lot of money. But after those emails, doesn't matter. Nobody's going to hire him, no matter who released the emails.
Give me Rex. We need a culture change. We need to turn this into an aggressive.
And what has Rex Ryan ever did?
Two AFC championships. I don't care.
So the question is, what general manager is out there? What coach is out there that we can bring in? That's the question, because you don't want to get worse. You don't want to jump out of the frying pan and into the fire. There's got to be another general manager that you can hire. Now, you want somebody that's been a general manager before. You don't want to bring in somebody that was like an assistant general manager that they think they can do the thing. It's like hiring McDaniel, who had never called a play in the NFL. He wasn't even an offensive coordinator.
Well,
and they hired him as a head coach.
If you're some guy who's like a lot of teams want to be the head coach, and a lot of people have shown interest, and you look at the teams that are looking at you, who are calling you, who you looking there and you're seeing on call waiting, who's calling you, and you see the Dolphins calling, and you think, Greer is still the general manager. Are you answering that phone?
Yeah, you're going to have to do Greer first. Greer's going to have to go first, and then you'll keep McDaniel until the new guy comes in, and then he'll clean house.
McDaniel took the job because he knew nobody was going to hire him as a head coach. He goes, I'm 32. I can take this, make a few $1 million and pad my resume. But other than that, who's going to want to coach? It have to be a nobody to coach this team with Chris Greer. Nobody who has a real future as a head coach will take that job with Chris Greer as general manager.
All right, guys, I'll do it. I'll step up and take one for the team. I'm the nobody that's going to do this. I'll let my coordinators do their job. Yep.
Okay, so available head coaches.
Uh-oh.
Nick's available.
Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe
GM.
Mike.
I wouldn't mind Belichick being GM.
Former head coach of the Titans, Mike Verbraal.
He's with the Patriots.
Right? Pete Carroll.
Raiders.
Pete Carroll's available right now.
Is he?
He's coaching the Raiders.
He's coaching the Raiders.
Oh, is he coaching the Raiders?
And Vrabel's with New England.
That's what's wrong.
Yeah, and Verbal's with New England. You're looking. That article must be old.
McCarthy.
Hey, I'm like head coaches available now.
Mike McCarthy. Been around the block.
It doesn't matter if Chris Greer's there. You can dig up Newt Rockne or Vince Lombardi. It ain't going to help.
I think what we're finding is exactly what Jeff is saying. There's nobody available. that's worth anything. And it's going to get worse.
That's why give me Rex, even if it's like 2 or 3 years, at least we'll get the culture changed. We'll be a tougher team mentally, and we can get out of this stupid fun nonsense
I
that we're
think
doing
that
right now.
I think the problem is just it's deeper.
We got people showing up late for meetings, people not showing up for this. We don't even know the rest of it. We don't get to
It's
hear
more
that
than
stuff.
just discipline.
It's probably a circus in this place.
Who's the
We
defensive
should all wear
coordinator
clown
for the
noses.
Falcons?
Falcons?
Anybody know out of hand?
How about the kid Shula, defensive coordinator for who was it? What's his name? Chris Shula.
No, I would take it.
think that we're going to have to get rid of Greer first, and then McDaniel will just be here until the new GM comes in and cleans house.
Yeah, McDaniel's
There's
going
no
to stay.
sense firing the coach right now. They fire Greer, like Tony was saying, then you'll bring in another GM that'll have his own people,
Jeff,
and then he'll come in and clean house. There's no
Jeff,
sense just firing people for the sake of firing people,
Yeah.
except for Chris Greer.
Get rid of Greer, and my pick for Dolphins head coach is Jeff Ulbrich.
Yep.
Defensive coordinator, Atlanta Falcons, the #1 defense in the NFL.
Okay.
And the Atlanta Falcons are a tough cookie. Their offense sucks, but their defense is playing like a Super Bowl team.
Well, that would be next year.
Yeah.
That's because they refuse
this
to
year's
play Kirk
over,
Cousins.
guys. I mean,
Oh yeah, it's over.
it would be spectacular
It's
if the
not over
Dolphins
yet.
went on a 10-0 run
It's
and
not
snuck
over
into
yet.
the playoffs, but it ain't gonna happen.
And for the playoffs, it's over.
Yeah.
I know it's not over. I mean, we got a game this weekend.
Yeah.
We're going on.
And I'll
We're
be
going
there.
on a 12-0 run. We're going to win the division, have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. We're going to run the table.
Huh.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. Well, he called the tight end, so
Jeff,
See
it's
what
called
happens.
micro dosing, not macro dosing.
We'll do enough. We'll do enough to keep it interesting until the end of the year, and then just miss the playoffs.
Seriously.
Don't even say that. That's well, you know what?
That's what we do, though.
Can we just win the home games? Let's start there.
Okay,
That'd
I'm
be
gonna
nice.
throw this another question out for you guys. I'm gonna start with you, Nick.
Here we go.
Chris Greer's fired. You
Oh,
are
yeah.
the general manager.
All right.
Who are you getting rid of in the Dolphins on the team right now? You're going, I don't
Tyreek
want, we're cutting you loose. We're moving on.
Who are we getting rid of? We're getting rid of Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, well, that's
Letting
pretty
that
much a
go.
given.
We're moving on from Tua.
Mm.
I know that one's
Now
unfavorable.
you have
but
no
we're
money.
moving on.
Yeah, now you have no money. Now you're broke.
It may not be in the first year, but we're going to move on from him. We're going to either get his replacement, do whatever we got to do. Defensive side, that's secondary, man.
Are you drafting a quarterback?
First, absolutely not. Nope.
No.
That's a rookie mistake.
I agree. For me, if you can draft the #1 quarterback in the nation, put him on this team, you'll ruin him in a half a season.
I'm building my offensive line. I want
Yeah.
Well, the
star-studded
offensive line right
offensive
now
line.
is got a lot of injuries. We've got our left side is very inexperienced. We got a rookie left guard. Our left tackle is his first year starting. He didn't start last year. And the center and the whole right side are new because of injuries. So I try not to blame too much on the offensive line because they've got inexperience and injuries.
But that's what we're going to say every single year. So if
Yeah,
we
I was
don't
going to
have
say, I'm
depth-
going to cut that little thing and just reinsert it next year because of the same thing we heard last year and the year before that and the year before that. Okay.
we're gonna
Offensive linemen get hurt all the time.
Yeah.
All right. The thing is there's a total. That's one thing that really has bothered me with Dolphins the last few years: the lack of depth We saw it with Tua. Tua got hurt. Who do we get the back? A good team has a decent backup quarterback. A good team has a couple of good linemen who can make a plug in there.
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
One of their guys goes down, the next guy steps in, and they don't have a problem.
Yeah. The depth. Miami has no depth. Never had, never. I don't see it. The Dolphins wide receiver. Let's Tyreek Hill. Who do we have? We have Waddle. Okay, who's the other guy? See?
I love Cedric Wilson. We pick him up, and he's already out with injury.
Yeah.
It's the big contracts that prevents depth.
Yeah.
You got the Tyree contract, you got the Tua contract, you got these huge contracts. Then you don't have money left to build depth.
And whose fault is that?
So that's the first thing you got to do is quit giving these big contracts to unproven players.
It all comes back. It's funny how everything we talk about the problem with the Dolphins, it all goes back to one man.
Well, here's my thing. You can't have two massive contracts at wide receiver and we barely throw over 220 yards in a game. What are we paying for? Take that 30 million and you can pay
that goes
two
back to what I say.
linemen.
You're only as good as your worst player. So yeah, we've got big contracts and superstar players, but if you don't have 11 guys on the field that are doing their job, you're only as good as the worst player on the field.
Regardless of what they're getting paid. That's why it's not, I mean, we don't have the culture here, right? There's not really a team. There's just a bunch of guys out there. Some of them are playing great and some of them are playing good, but there's no energy there. I mean, it's a low energy team. It's a soft team.
That's because the guys with the energy, they let them leave. Wilkins, the guy he was like Mr. Excitement. I know, forget all his weird shit that he did and wherever in the Raiders. But he had high energy. I forget his weird.
You're right. I mean, he brought a lot of energy. I mean,
and then you had Gesicki on the offensive side, was the same way. We didn't use him, fine, let him go. But you don't replace him with guys that are high energy that can pump up a team consistently. That's the miss.
We're
parroting. We're tape recording. It's Chris Greer. It's Chris Greer.
It's deeper. It's much deeper than not having the players. It's much deeper than not having the culture. And I think the sad part about this whole thing, and it's kind of as the show has gone on, I've gotten more quiet and more depressed with the realization that it's going to be 5 to 10 years before this team is back on its feet because we're out of position with what's it called? The salary cap, right? We don't have the players. You ain't got all the draft picks, right? And so you never have enough draft picks to create the depth that you need, right? You don't have the money to go get the big players that you need. And you do this gradually over time. It's not going to happen overnight unless you get really lucky and get a generational player, right, that brings it all together. But if you're building a team, I mean, we're far from what we need. The culture isn't there. The players aren't there. The management isn't there. The only guy at least the ownership drops the cash, right? At least we can say Ross drops the cash. Right. The only thing is the people that are running the organization are incompetent, and it's kind of depressing, and it doesn't look like moving away from it. So it's depressing. We ain't going to be great next year, and we're not going to be great the year after that because it's going to always be we got young players or
it'll take about a 3 year.
They haven't been playing together enough. Wait till next year. It's just
if they get it right, it'll take 3 years. It'll take if they get it all right.
But here's the thing:
they get it all right.
Here's the thing, though.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't necessarily agree with. There's a lot of teams that turn it around in 1 year. You get the right general manager, the right head coach, and that head coach brings in players, that want to follow this coach to the, through the gates of hell. He'll bring players with him, and he'll bring the attitude with him. You'll see it change overnight if you get the right guy.
They might
You know,
get they might
I
get
could
decent.
say it could turn around in a year
Well,
and
the
a half.
salary cap's
I
going to
mean-
kill the Dolphins. The salary cap,
Yeah.
Tyreek's killing the Dolphins.
Yeah, I mean, we just went over the available coaches. I mean,
Mhm.
who we got? You got to go take a chance on a guy, and that's what we've been doing since Shula. Take him in chancing on guy. We except for Jimmy Johnson, who else was like, the head coach that was a head coach that could head coach and go to the Super Bowl. We don't. We always go get an offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator from a good team, bad team, questionable genius, young. It don't work out. It hasn't worked out in a long time. If we were the Pittsburgh Steelers and we had this long, cultural background, and when you come in, you're plugging into a culture and plugging into the Iron Curtain and or Steel Curtain and a good running game and always have a great offensive line and the terrible towel. I mean, we don't have that. We lost all that when the Robbies sold, and I'm just now coming to the realization that we've been chasing what we had with Shula and the Robbies forever now, and that's a very hard thing to ignite and keep on fire, and we're coming on to what, like the 5th or 6th or the 7th rebuild, right? It's going to be another rebuild.
The contract, Tyreek's contract's killing the Dolphins. Tua's contract killing the Dolphins. Any other decent player in the Dolphins, when they're up for a new contract, they're going to want big money, and the Dolphins can't give them big money, so they're going to move on to another team. I can't blame them.
I would.
We
should try to get something out of them, some picks.
We should have never lost Van Ginkel.
No,
and you have right now the Dolphins' plan should be the rest of the season is to let Tua short passes. Let's get those numbers up for Tua, so maybe somebody will give us a draft pick or two for him instead of having just to cut him. Nobody will give us anything because they don't want that contract either. Who's going to want that guy? A team that's desperate who think, oh, maybe we can save Tua.
The only way we could trade him is if we pick up part of the contract.
Yeah.
Right. Say we'll pay for half.
And it'll be a couple of years before the Dolphins really can start writing checks for great players or good players even.
We need to change our philosophy. So 7 of our defenders were not on this team last year, the starting lineup. How many of those guys are on 1-year deals? 4 or 5?
Oh.
So we're not going to bring them back, and then next year it'll be the same excuse. Oh, we got half the defense is new, and then we sign them all to 1-year contracts out of free agency. Commit to somebody. Like these guys.
Well, that's why you got to bring in a head coach that the players are going to follow.
It can't take 6 weeks to get it together.
Like Tony said, the defensive coordinator from Atlanta, if he suddenly became a head coach, you'd have a lot of these Atlanta defensive players that would want to follow him.
Yeah.
And then you could pick up some good talent that way.
Yeah.
It's all going to come down to, like, first of all, you got to get rid of Greer, and then you got to bring in a general manager that's gonna bring in a head coach that the players are going to want to follow here, and then you don't have the long extended rebuild period that that Jose's talking about 5 years. That's ridiculous. We should be able to rebuild in 1 year, 1.5 years. By the end of that midway through that second year, you're seeing a big improvement.
It's tough with it's the money, Yeah, if you got rid of Tyreek Hill's contract and Tua's contract, or if they were like a regular contracts, normal, the Dolphins can rebuild in a year or two. But right now, they can't. That's why when they do pick up guys, they're picking up people off the practice squad and backup of the backups because they can't afford anybody good.
Well, there's nobody good out there right now. You're going to have to be in the off season with free agents and things like that. There's nobody on anybody's practice squad that's going to come in and improve the team. from any team out there, really.
When
Well-
you give a big contract to a guy like Tua, you basically are giving him control because you're going to have to go to him and say, "Hey, I want to restructure your contract. Right? You need to give up X amount so I can get a tight end." It's like, nah, I don't want a tight end. How about a wide receiver? Right?
Anyway, guys, we're running out of time
You need a
here.
guard.
Next
You need a
week is
line.
the Chargers. I don't think it's going to be pretty. I really don't. Be cool to see if Miami wins. Quick pick, Jeff. Who's going to win? Score. Go ahead.
Miami's going to win, of course. They're going to a big bounce back. Like I said, we're going to go 12-0 to finish the season, win the division, home field advantage throughout, Super Bowl win.
Again, it's micro dosing. Nick.
Miami wins 31-27. Close game, like always.
Jose.
Jose.
I'm telling you, it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a close game, and I'm going to be a homer. They're going to line up right there in front of me and Jeff, and they're going to kick a field goal right into our lap, right?
And me.
Yeah, and you, right? So
Down below.
Dolphins by a field goal, 17-14.
Chargers 27-10. Herbert's going to remind everybody that the Dolphins should have picked him instead of Tua. Okay.
Nah.
Killing
Gonna
you.
pass out by halftime.
comment, subscribe, do all the stuff, guys. We'll see you next week. We got Nick, we got Jeff, we got Jose. I'm Tony. See you next week
Bring your
on
energy.
the Fintastic4.
See you at the Hard Rock.